Well, I'm a musicologist. My training is in music analysis, music theory, and music cognition. So she approached me because she wanted a musicologist to communicate the relationship between her music, the compositional structures in her music, and the idea that she wanted to get across. So actually, it's pretty close to what I do in my job, in that, I'm teaching people about how to analyse music, how to make sense of it, and I'm writing about how music is put together. So in a way, she was just asking me to do my normal job, but it just so happened she wanted it included within her artistic work.
Sure. And were you a fan of her music before she approached you?
Yeah, I love her music, but also there are some things about it that kind of puzzle me and that kind of make me feel, kind of curious, I suppose. It wasn't just a straightforward fan thing, it was really being quite perplexed by some things that she does in her work. So it's that ambivalence that actually attracted me to write about her. When she first approached me, she described the project, and I think at that first meeting said something like, so maybe you could write some short bits of text that might appear on a website or be part of this project. So it sounded quite small scale, and then the longer I was involved, the more and more it grew. So her idea of the project developed, and also my role within it became bigger, and I kind of took on different roles at different points. So it was a very organic, natural kind of evolution, really.
Sure.
Yeah.
What was your favourite roles that you did take?
I think, the funniest and the most traditional was that they asked me to identify the key of each song. So what's the pitch centre for each of her 10 songs, because they commissioned a tuning fork to be made for each of the songs, and the pitch centre had to be obviously for each tuning fork. So they wanted me to tell them, which pitch each of these 10 tuning forks had to have, which is a really traditional musicological thing. Listen to this track, tell me what key it's in. And there was actually somebody who needed that knowledge. It was great.
Sorry, you were going to say something.
Yeah, but that obviously wasn't the most interesting, perhaps. The most interesting was trying to understand the ideas that she had about compositional structures and the relationship between those and the idea that she wanted to get across about nature, about the natural world.
Great. And you were involved with the project for just over 2 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it must have been. I think they got in contact first in 2009. It was launched in 2011, and I kind of went on working with them little bits after that for a while. Yeah, so it must have been about 2 years.
Great. And what were some of the key things that you learned from the whole process?
Oh gosh, I learned a lot about the making of a cultural artifact. In this case, it's more than just music. It's a multimedia thing, videos and an app and so on. But to see that made within a relatively short time scale, it really taught me a lesson about how quickly you can do things. I think in the academic world sometimes people can take a long and careful time to do things, And actually, I really admired their ability to have this idea, have a vision, and to execute it in a really short time scale brilliantly. And it also taught me that music, they're just fantastic musicians, and also she's an amazing creative entrepreneur, They're not just a musician. Another thing this experience has taught me is that there is a real stratification of the audience. And what I mean by that is that music companies, the music business, is now recognising there are very different audiences for different kind of formats, and that the physical is not going to disappear, but it's going to be very, very high-end physical things, physical artefacts, and physical artefacts maybe at the very low end. So what I mean is deluxe versions of things and very basic versions, and that the digital will also always be there, but that we're going to make more of the capabilities of these devices. They're an amazing platform for artists, and artists will exploit them and find really exciting things to do. The Make event today is fantastic because it's bringing together artists to talk and reflect on what they're doing. So both the wider meaning and social significance of it, but also just the nuts and bolts about what does somebody like that actually do? For people who might not kind of come into contact with musicians, artists, sound engineers even, I think it's great to actually find out what it is people are doing, why they're doing it, and to reflect on what that might mean for us.